In this video, we'll explore why individuals who are poorly adapted to the environment, those with a high mutational load or significant genetic mutations, may exhibit harmful or disruptive behaviors as a coping strategy. If you're looking for a quick overview of behaviors associated with maladaptive traits, check out my BAFMAP video where I touched on the strategies used by individuals struggling to adapt to a modern world. Defining a spiteful mutant. To understand the concept of a spiteful mutant, you first must need to describe traits of individuals whose genetic makeup is not well suited to contemporary environments. This person might be perceived as unattractive by societal standards, perhaps by either underweight or overweight. They may lean towards far left-leaning stances, exhibit androgynous characteristics, and possibly display signs of being on the autism spectrum. Emotional instability and narcissistic tendencies may also arise, often as a defense mechanism against perceived personal inadequacies. These traits are indicative of someone with a high mutational load, an accumulation of genetic mutations that might impact their physical and psychological health. Such individuals often adapt reproductive and survival strategies that may disrupt societal harmony, attempting to shift the environment into their favor. Since they may feel powerless to engage in direct competition with others, they often resort to indirect methods, such as manipulation or deceit, to gain an advantage. Societal behaviors that are perceived as morally repugnant or deceitful often emerge as part of this strategy. Essentially, we have evolved to recognize such behaviors as socially disgusting, and our instincts urge us to avoid people who exhibit these mechanisms, undermining, and virtual signaling. Now, let's consider how individuals might attempt to gain an advantage despite their setbacks. When someone feels like they cannot compete genetically, they may try to turn to cultural strategies to elevate their status. One common tactic is undermining others, essentially dragging them down in order to rise in comparison. This can manifest in various ways, including virtue signaling, where someone loudly proclaims their moral superiority in order to gain social approval, or narcissism, where stated self-importance masks deeper insecurities. Behaviors may offer a way for individuals at a genetic disadvantage to level the playing field, using social manipulation to secure a better position in the hierarchy. If they cannot win through social strength or talent, they may attempt to shift the criteria for success to areas where they can excel, such as morality. The evolutionary roots of spiteful behavior. But why do people with high mutational loads behave in this way? When an individual has a significant number of negative mutations, they may recognize that direct confrontation with others is likely to end in failure. Instead, they use indirect strategies such as undermining others or elevating themselves through social manipulation. These behaviors are rooted in survival instincts, and they manifest in sneaky, underhanded tactics designed to maintain or improve one's standing. This is where the term spiteful mutant comes into play. Individuals with a high mutational load may act out of spite, seeking to tear down those with better genetic fitness. In essence, their behavior is driven by a desire to reduce the advantages of others, not necessarily to advance one's own position, but simply to prevent other positions from rising too far above them. The role of the superorganism. On a broader scale, these individuals may actually serve a purpose within the superorganism of society. Mutations, both genetic and cultural, can drive evolution and societal change. While maladaptive behaviors may seem harmful in the short term, they could introduce cultural diversity into the gene pool and genetic diversity into the gene pool, push cultural boundaries, which may be beneficial in certain environments. In this way, the presence of spiteful mutants can be seen as part of the larger evolutionary process that encourages mutation and adaptation through the behaviors they promote and may diverge from traditional values to contribute to societal instability. Conclusion. The concept of spiteful mutants offers a provocative explanation for why certain individuals engage in behaviors that seem to undermine society. Whether driven by genetic mutations, social competition, or deeper evolutionary forces, these behaviors reflect the the complex interplay between biology and culture. By understanding these dynamics, we gain insight into the disruptive strategies some people use to cope with their perceived disadvantages and the broader implications for society as a whole.